everyone. It's a real honor to be here. And so a little bit about my background after that awesome introduction. So I had a very unusual upbringing. I was the first child, and my parents brought me up as a boy. And so it was awesome because this is unusual in a developing country. And I was taught that there was absolutely nothing I could not do. And so I grew up fixing engines. I grew up dreaming about making airplanes. And so I came to the United States because I followed my dream of making airplanes. I became an aerospace engineer. And when I was here, it totally blew my mind that people, even in America, don't think that way. And especially not with girls. I was shocked when I learned that it's okay to say shopping is my hobby, or I only wear pink, because I'm a girl. And it was just so amazing to me that 50% of the population is told that whole set of possibilities is not open to you because you were born a particular way. And so I was doing a PhD in aerospace, and I got to work in the dream company that I always wanted to work in. But then I felt that there was just something so much larger here to be addressed. And I think my upbringing helped me have that arrogance or that confidence that if I see a problem, I'll say I'm going to try to step in and try to fix it. And so I started Iridescent. And I went about it in a sort of engineering way, and I spent about a year looking at large-scale solutions, looking at what was working, what was not working. And something just was nagging me because I found a lot of interventions and solutions that were kind of narrow to me. It was like, what's the magic age to reach girls so that they go in ready for Algebra 1? Or what's the fastest ROI method to fix a particular problem? Maybe it's vouchers or maybe whatever. And it's just something didn't sit right with me. So I asked a much larger question. The question was, how do you really empower young girls, especially, and not just young girls, but we work with children from underserved communities, but how do you empower them to see themselves as technology innovators and entrepreneurs? Technology, engineering are very high growth areas, and one person can change the world. But it really is a matter of, do you feel confident enough? Do you have the sense of self-efficacy that you'll be successful? And so I asked that question, and I also asked, how do you do this at very large scale? How do you do this across different cultures, different ethnicities, different socioeconomic status? Not trying to go deeper and say, oh, this culture thinks differently, that culture thinks differently, but more, what makes us similar? And I came across a very interesting research article that says there are 300 factors that make us all human. And these 300 are the human universals, and they're actually the really most important things to focus on. And one little story is that if an adult, no matter what background, if they see a child in the river drowning, everybody's going to jump in to try to save that child. And so I came in asking that question, and we did a lot of iteration, and I wanted to share what mistakes we learned or we made and what we learned. So we started this program. It was called Technovation in 2010. And we started as a very small program. It was run at Google. Girls, this was before sort of the buzz about coding and technology. And we just had girls come to an evening program at Google. But the really key part was that they had to identify a problem in their community. And they had to learn how to make a mobile app and launch a startup. So it was a 9-week program. But I always wanted to think about how can you scale it. So the first year, we ran it as one cohort. Second year, we did it in 6 locations. Third year, we did it across 10 locations in the country. And then what we realized was that it was a very tech company-centric model, because only those girls who could afford to travel to that tech company could actually take use of this program. And that just didn't sit right with me. And so we decided in 2013 to put all of that curriculum online and to see what would happen. And this decision went against my team. They didn't really like that because they're like, this was before, again, like the online MOOC buzz, and there wasn't that much data around online learning. But I was like, let's see what's going to happen, because we've seen this program be effective. And again, thinking about, can you empower a girl? Can you believe in her and tell her that you believe in her? And you're going to value her idea. And so in 2013, we put the curriculum online, and we had girls from 19 countries participate. We had girls from Nigeria, from Brazil, from Mexico, Ghana, India, and it was such a powerful experience to see what these girls, how they view their community, and how innovative their ideas were. So in 2010-11, we got the first Pinterest app. We got the first Uber app. This is before these apps were mainstream, but these girls are such heavy users of technology. They're really thinking in very, very different ways. So that was very, very exciting. And then we tried to look at all the data to see what exactly is working. So a couple of things. One was it's more than just an hour of code. An hour of code is okay. It's great for exposure, but it's not going to change your life. And to really have a transformative effect, you need to have enough mastery in that experience. So the curriculum is about 100 hours, so it's not an easy thing. Again, it's not a Band-Aid solution. So the community, everybody, the mentors, the teachers, the parents, all need to get on board that this is a commitment. The second piece was that the biggest and most life-changing piece for the girls is that they're learning together. They're really doing a startup. They're figuring out which direction the company is going to go. They're figuring out who is going to be the CEO, who's going to do the coding, who's going to, and what app they want to build. Everybody has a different idea. And so that collaborative piece and working on a long, meaty project is unusual. Schools don't provide that because there's not enough time. But that, again, is something, it is such a physiological, visceral experience working socially that it helps them really remember this and say that I did something really hard. We actually made a technology startup. We did a mobile app that we'd never done together. So that was a very key element of it. The third piece was that it was really the validation. And we have not been able to do this all the time, but whenever we could get the girls to, at the end of the program, get up on stage and share their ideas with the larger community, and the community would cheer for them. That physiological, again, like a visceral experience of, look at all these people validating my idea, is something very memorable. And this is, and you'll see later in the film tonight that Leslie made on Technovation, one of the girls says, nobody ever bothered to ask me what I thought about this problem. And I think that's an interesting idea because most adults will look at a middle school girl and will not think that she has a really innovative way of solving a problem that the adults face. But just the fact that somebody cares and wants to support is a huge validation factor for the girls. So today we are working across 87 different countries, and I definitely want to work with Lena here. And we've learned a lot, we've seen a lot, but there's so many more challenges that we face and we're trying to grapple with, and I would love ideas if you have some. So the very first one is we have 10,000 really, really powerful, amazing young women technology leaders. And how can we leverage them to go back into their communities to set up more lasting technology entrepreneurship clubs, but also for them to keep deepening their expertise and their sense of self-efficacy. So that's a huge area of exploration for us. And my team is small. And so these are the challenges. How do you make large impact at low cost in a sustainable way? The second piece, which is also very interesting, is as we try to reach more girls from underserved communities, there are no tech companies nearby. And so, but there is technology, there is internet, and so there's room where technology can bypass traditional methods and provide some degree of possibly virtual connections. But virtual mentoring is a hard one. There's safety, there's lots of different things, and so this is a big area of exploration for us. And going into that a bit deeper, this is an interesting gray area of responsibility. I don't know if some of you have been following, there was a Facebook case in South India a couple of months ago where somebody posted a sort of inappropriate picture of a young girl on Facebook, and she committed suicide. And Facebook didn't take responsibility because this is not their responsibility, but this is sort of that gray area where who is responsible? And I think this is something we'll see more and more, as I feel a very strong responsibility that we are bringing together groups of people that have no safety mechanisms built in culturally to interact. So for instance, if you're bringing in folks from corporations into underdeveloped areas, sort of the local community members are intimidated, right? And so these are all things that I feel is my responsibility when we are bringing together people of different backgrounds to really understand how best to work with each other, but really being mindful of safety. And the last one that we really struggle with is, and you'll see this in the film later tonight, that the competition is a great hook. It gets the girls excited because there's the chance of winning. You'll win $10,000, you'll fly to Silicon Valley. But the reality is that as the program grows, it's almost impossible to win it. And so this is the balance that we're trying to figure out. How do mentors help emphasize the process and not so much the product, but while realizing the product is a really awesome hook to get girls excited. Otherwise, they would never think of themselves that, oh my gosh, I'll be able to create a mobile app that's better than this app. So that's the balance that we are trying to figure out. And so I feel in my larger question and my larger quest, we are probably like 20% of the way there, and there's so much more to learn and so much more to explore. So it's a lifelong journey for me, but it's definitely design thinking at its best on a daily basis. So I wanted to leave you with just a short video about, it's a PSA that we made a couple of years ago, and it really sort of epitomizes what we are trying to build in the girl. And I hope all of you get a chance to watch the film tonight, because that will tell you the actual process of the program itself, which is very, very empowering. So just a quick stat, almost 60% of the girls after they go through Technovation, even 5 years after, are much more interested in computer science. And these were girls who were not normally, would have thought that computer science was for them. And now, because we've been running for so long, we actually have real stats of girls, what majors girls take after they finish. And almost 30% of the girls are majoring in computer science now. The reason why it's only 30% is because we don't have data for the girls from the developing countries. And so these are all things that help us understand that we're on the right track, but there's so much more to accomplish. So I'll leave you with the video.
I am not a statistic. I am not a Barbie girl. I am not afraid to fail.
The air quality in certain areas.
I am a steward of my community.
Proposing that we create an app to help the community.
I am hope for my generation. I am a role model. I am guided by my aspirations. I am driven by my imperfections. I am defined by my perseverance. I will innovate. I will lead. I will inspire. What will you do?
So I also want to say we just started the new season for the 2017 competition, and so if any one of you knows a little girl, definitely encourage her to sign up and form a team, and we'll guarantee you it'll be a life-changing experience for her and for you. So thank you.